All right, what's going on, you guys? Happy Friday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. First, just want to say, uh, man, I really hope a war or conflict doesn't break out between Russia and Ukraine and et cetera. I mean, that can just get nasty over the weekend. So I would just like to say, we should pray for, everyone involved in this conflict. It's not fun to see this kind of stuff happen in the world today. But there's unfortunately in our case, there's some money to be made with situations like this. I don't feel great about it, but it's what we do as traders. So that's number one. Number two, hey, we had a great day. Heck yeah. Port's up, everything's up. We made some killer moves with Q, Affirm. That was the only thing I traded today. And also holding some Affirm puts over the weekend. As I said, it's a $40 stock. So we'll see if it goes there. But let's just take a look at the chart. All right. So yesterday, news came out, inflation data. Today's news headlines is potential conflict in Ukraine, and the market did not like it, right? I mean, we are now we actually retraced back down into January 28th. Okay, so this was last month. Hard to believe we're in mid-February here, but reached in here and is holding for now. If I were to do a quick, potential retracement here, then yeah, you're looking at a 0.618 retracement. Could go lower, 341, 334. Obviously, that would mean pretty rough days ahead if a war starts breaking out. So, I'm not sure where this obviously is going to go, but it could definitely, I definitely see a little bit of bounce on Monday once the news cycle calms down. Now, Monday, we do have to watch if there's any emergency rate hike. I don't think there is, but we never know. It hasn't happened since the year 2000. That's even before I started trading. So we have that going. And then you have Fed meetings, minutes released, I believe, on Wednesday or Thursday next week. We have this Ukraine stuff that's going to kind of linger over the weekend. Anything can happen over the weekend, to be honest. So we'll be sure to, see what happens Monday. So that's Q for you guys. Let's go ahead and go to Affirm. I'm still pretty firm on the $40 price target. We are now at the lows of May 4th, 2001. Okay. So this is a huge inverted cup and handle, as I mentioned weeks ago. Nobody, of course, wanted to believe me, but we are at all-time lows. It hit all-time lows, pre-IPO. So as if the markets continue to dip the way they do, as they have today into next week, then yeah, I'm happy to hold Affirm puts over the weekend. All right. So that's I'll be looking at charts over the weekend, but I do have 4 earnings coming up that I might be interested in. And the first one is going to be, let's take a look at the earnings calendar here. The first one is going to be UPST Upstart. That's kind of, it's like a firm, sympathy stock, as a firm stock drops. So this UPST. Now, the only interesting thing about this is that this is an inverted cup and handle, but you see that there's a price gap between $81 down to about, 62. That's a pretty wide gap that we saw Affirm did fill. If you remember DDOG that I mentioned last night or today, I didn't get to play DDOG, D-Dog. However, that gap pretty much filled mostly, and it's still not quite done yet. So this is by grace holding on to dear life at $100, or now it's $99.50 in the after hours. So this will be Tuesday's play after hours. So I'm going to consider this a little bit more. There is a gap fill up here in the 269 area. I don't think that ever is going to get filled anytime soon. But I'm definitely more interested on the downside. Yes, the stock has been beaten up, but what happened to Affirm, right? Everybody said Affirm cannot get beaten up anymore. Maybe they screw up their social media again. I don't know. But I would lean more on the put side, even with their good earnings. Now, this earnings here in last August, they did gap up. Now, we were in a bull market, okay? So everything got very extended. I mean, Upstart went to $400 dear dollars and then started gapping down. Here is the beginning of the bear market, all right, at 308, and they released earnings, gap down about 30 points. Can this happen again? Because we're not in a bull market. We're still in a bear market. Even if it runs, how far can it run? $10, $15. You know, we saw Disney run up like nothing. Net did nothing. CMG did nothing. You know, this isn't the time for bull market. So I think the puts, or this time, will probably play more in the money puts or closer in the money, maybe like, you know, 95 puts or 90 puts. We'll see about that on Tuesday. So that's going to be on our radar next week. And then, of course, we have Shopify, Amazon. So these two run in tandem, right? Sympathy. If we look at the Shopify charts, we are now approaching, we broke below, September 14, 2020 lows. March 2020 lows would bring us to approximately $553. This could be this. Now, this one, like Amazon, can get very juicy. Now, they do report on Wednesday pre-market, so you have to grab the puts or the calls on Tuesday before close. It's hard to bet against Shopify and Amazon, right? They probably had the record-breaking holiday season. So I would say, yeah, this is a pretty good call type of situation, maybe 100, 200 point move in the right direction, and can lift up the markets, lift up Amazon for sure. All right. So that's that. All right. Wednesday after hours is Deere NVIDIA, which I will be bullish upon. You cannot short chip stocks. Yes, they move with the market, but it's in high demand. It's like MU. It's like AMD. Closer in the money calls will probably do it for NVIDIA. So now NVIDIA did hold. Remember this chart I've been posting, a month before. It's always held this 227 dip here. So I don't see them going much lower, except whatever the market does. But I mean, for sure, if it comes down here next week, I might be tempted to buy some calls and load up for the event, for the ER on Wednesday. Because I certainly can see them at least get back to the 267, 270 level. So that's NVIDIA. And on Thursday is Roku Day. All right. So Roku reports after hours on Thursday. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. Another beat up stock, kind of like Netflix, kind of moves with Netflix, big old giant cup and handle, inverted cup and handle. Not really many gaps I'm seeing here below. But we know that the March 2020 pandemic lows was $56. That's insane. Another beat up one. Can this fill some gaps up north? And there is a little bit here. I may or may not play this. I don't get a very good feel for the stock, but Roku, it's been beaten up. So calls are more likely ideal in this type, for at least for this stock. All right. So that's what I'm looking at for next week. Okay. So we got Upstart, we got Shop, we got NVIDIA, we got Roku, and I'll be continuing to scalp QQQ options either direction as we find them. And we'll keep an eye on a firm since we have positions over the weekend. I certainly don't want to see a firm jump up to $50, but anything can happen. So let's see what happens this weekend with the situation in Ukraine and Russia, and we'll go from there on Monday morning. So with that being said, hope you guys had a great week. Ladies